Let's podcast. Alongside Joe Giglio, I'm Joe Ovies inside Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh. Thanks to Empire Properties and thanks to Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. Print management, document management, Junior Canes team manager management. I got docs that the coaches need to sign. I got to sign my own stuff. I got release forms for the parents. You know who's printing that out?
Our good friends, Copiers Plus.
Mikey O'Sara.
Yeah.
Printing all that good stuff out. So check them out online, copiers-plus.com. We're going to check in with Walker Mehl, WFNZ. I listened to my boys in Charlotte a little bit yesterday. He's going to join us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Thanks to the Heister Automotive Group for sponsoring the hotline. You got a car you got to buy? You got a 17-year-old who needs a piece of junk to get beat up in the Enloe parking lot? You give them that specification, they got you. But you're probably looking for something a little bit nicer. They got you too.
You're going to have to hit the corrections button on the earliest ever.
Already?
Yeah.
Already? What did I do?
All mixed up, you don't know what to do. I guess we'll clarify and correct a thing or two. Cause you know what Joe is not the first or the last. You may have gone wrong in the past.
Don't like myself for what I'm about to do.
What?
And I apologize in advance. However, for the sake of the program, I'll just lean in here for a second.
Okay.
Tell me you worked on radio for 25 years without telling me that you worked on radio for 25 years and you know what the word complimentary means, but you don't know how to spell it when there's two different words.
I know. I shout out to JC. He had texted me saying,
so the wordsmith already beat me to it.
Yeah, he already beat you to it.
Okay.
He texted me. He goes, no, it's the E, not the I. And I went and I corrected some of the headlines.
Okay.
But some of the social media posts, I can't go back.
No. I'm just,
yes.
We get the email that says Simplecast.
I've corrected that headline.
Okay. Perfect. Because I'm seeing it and I'm like, just radio guy. Yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah, spelling's hard, man.
I don't know.
Spelling is hard.
So when you're learning English,
Mhm.
they tell you use the E because it is complete. You're completing an equation.
Well,
You complement. You complete.
I'm going to hit you.
What's Jerry Maguire? You complete
me.
You compliment me.
I'm going to hit you with what my dad does when he screws something up. Well, English wasn't my first language.
I mean, in all fairness, why are there two fucking words that mean the same thing anyway?
Because that's the English language.
Right.
No, that's the English language. That's the beauty of the English. It's
why?
The English language is so dumb with its rules. Like Spanish is actually easier to learn than English because the rules are pretty hard and fast when it comes to Spanish. But yeah, my dad always used that one. It's like, well, English isn't my first language. I'm like, Dad, you're 70. What is he now? You're 72, man. Like, you've been speaking English for a long time. My personal favorite was when we didn't have texting in Cuba. That was an all-timer. That was an all-timer.
I like that.
All-timer.
Fernando knows what he's doing.
You know what else is dumb? You know what's actually dumber than the English language and the rules and words and all that kind of stuff?
What?
Trying to apply college football quarterback success rates with NFL success.
Okay.
Last night, the takes were coming in hot and heavy for JJ McCarthy, man, on Monday Night Football.
Right.
Actually,
early?
It was a competing because the Vikings ended up winning because JJ McCarthy's got that grit. He's got that dog in him, right? But yeah, last night the takes were coming in hot and heavy about JJ McCarthy and whether or not Adam Thielen was having second thoughts, although he was dropping some balls too. So it is what it is. And last night really was like a bringing some takes home between the Bears and the Vikings. The Bears have their own issues to deal with. Tyler Dunn, who has a really great Substack called Go Long, has a 3-part series breaking down the behind-the-scenes dysfunction of the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
It's one of those classic things where you're thinking, wow, these are executives and they've been football lifers, and you come to find out how they're just really not good at their jobs. But that's neither here nor there. The one thing that was coming in about JJ McCarthy that I found interesting is that just because he won a national championship doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be a great quarterback. He's a great story for Michigan. Right. He was a great story on a national championship run. But I think sometimes we tend to forget about how exactly JJ McCarthy and that offense worked for Michigan.
They famously played a whole game at Penn State where they didn't attempt to pass.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, good story. But I'm not quite sure that it necessarily means that he is the answer in Minnesota. And it did get me thinking, am I misremembering stuff? you know? And I do think there's been a shift in how quarterbacks are drafted, and that you can go ahead and take a flyer on a QB in the first round because it's not going to cost you money down the line. It's all been in the reshaping of the rookie contracts and things like that. Doesn't work out for you? Fine. Cut bait, move on to the next one before he gets paid for his big contract. The bet for the Vikings is they can get JJ McCarthy on the cheap, build around him, and that's where they get the success, right? Happened with Russell Wilson when they were in Seattle. The Legion of Boom, got to pay for that.
Right.
Russell was cheap. Okay. So I'm like, am I misremembering these types of things? Am I misremembering a time where you were a Miami quarterback and you won a national championship, but it didn't really mean squat for NFL success? I'm thinking Gino Toretta. I'm thinking
Heisman Trophy winner.
Ken Dorsey. And these are, thinking Ken Dorsey, right? Another national championship winner on a loaded Miami team. So I started going back. Let's go back.
Steve Walsh famously won
that's
2 national titles and was drafted by the Cowboys and leveraged by Jimmy Johnson.
So I'm thinking Ken Dorsey. Here's a guy who went to a national championship and lost a national championship. Like won one, lost one. Fine.
Yeah, put an asterisk on the loss, but yeah.
Fair enough. I don't want to. So speaking of Ohio State, let's fast forward to 2002. Craig Krenzel, 5th round. Okay, sounds about right. Before that, Josh Heupel at Oklahoma, 2000, 6th rounder. You can keep going down the list of national championship winning quarterbacks that get drafted where they are appropriately drafted because you understood that they were a cog in a national championship machine. Matt Mock, remember, this is classic. Let's remember some dudes. Okay. Matt Mock, LSU, 2003, 7th round draft pick. Let's go on down to, and I'm going to throw out things like Vince Young and whatnot, right? We got another LSU quarterback, Matt Flynn, 2007, 7th rounder. We also have, let's go down the list here. Greg McElroy. I forgot he actually even played the season because he's been on TV and radio for the most part.
Would not
7th rounder.
I don't remember him in the NFL. I know the Jets drafted him and he played like 1 preseason, but I didn't realize.
AJ McCarron, Alabama. And this is when we go through the Nick Saban, let's remember some QB dudes. AJ McCarron. We've got Jake Coker in 2015. Who else do we have? I think Jalen Hurts obviously has gone on to win a Super Bowl. Tua Tagovailoa, I don't know about that. And then we have Mac Jones at Alabama in 2020. Stetson Bennett at Georgia, and now JJ McCarthy. I could keep doing this. Cardell Jones. Let's remember some dudes. Cardell Jones at Ohio State. So Will Howard. I bet you, I will send an OG hat from our vault to the first person who emails the OG goes digital at gmail.com. Who drafted Will Howard and where or when? Who drafted him and when? Probably couldn't do it.
I already got it wrong. So
you probably forgot that Will Howard was even the quarterback of Ohio State last year. So the point that I'm making here is, why are we assigning this kind of stuff to JJ McCarthy when there's a long list of dudes? You have, sometimes it's the old hustler thing. I know it when I see it. And with JJ McCarthy, I saw a really good college quarterback on a really good Michigan team that won a very specific way that he was good at. And when they needed plays from him, they got the plays that they needed from him. But it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to translate to NFL success, let alone a 1st round draft pick.
I'm just going to push a little here because I know he started poorly, but he rallied the troops there last night.
And at the heart of a winner?
No. I think in all of these quarterback conversations, because this is the same draft, right, as Caleb Williams, Drake May, right?
There's a conversation about Drake May. They've soured on him up in New England.
Sure, but that quarterback class was not supposed to be whatever, and it's the one that has 6 starters right now.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's a matter of whose hands the quarterback is in, right? Kevin O'Connell at the Vikings, I think he's a really good coach. But to be able to do what he did with Kirk Cousins, to be able to do what he did with Sam Darnold, you say, okay, I can trust you with this guy. You put JJ McCarthy on the Panthers, well, yeah, I'm probably going to be concerned. You put him down at the Falcons, yeah, Penix is another in that draft class, by the way.
Here's your draft class. Caleb Williams 1, Jaden Daniels 2, Drake May 3. By the time you get to JJ McCarthy, I'm sorry, Penix Jr. was 8th, and then you get to JJ McCarthy 10th,
and then
Bo Nix at 12th.
Yeah. are all starters in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say it's who's taking care of them, who's teaching them, who under whose tutelage are they, learning from.
Yeah.
And I think that's as big a part of the NFL and as big a part of football as there is, because we've seen guys wash out in different spots. Like, this is Caleb Williams' last chance, believe it or not. What year is it for him? 3?
Yeah.
I'm just being serious right now. If Ben Johnson can't make him work, then it's probably not going to work for him. And I was more interested in Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams last night than I was McCarthy and O'Connell. And I thought each half played out a way that we thought. They scored on their opening series last night. That was the first time the Bears didn't score once on their opening drive in 2024.
It's year 2 for Caleb Williams, but anyway.
No, I know, but
yeah. I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like, I think Ben Johnson is one of those guys who's worth his weight in gold with quarterbacks and play calling. And Caleb Williams really showed a side last night. He used his feet more than he did his rookie season. And he threw a couple of fastballs last night that I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get why people are super excited about him.
Yeah.
But you got to make it work with this guy. And I think O'Connell on the other side of it is, okay, here's my track record. That's why they're willing to use McCarthy.
That's fair.
And remember, McCarthy missed all of last year with a knee injury as well. So, it's an interesting setup. I actually think the real problem with the Bears, Adunze is not the player that they want him to. Is not the player that they needed him to be. Like, DJ Moore is good. They improved their offensive line. Tooney's playing for them this year. That game last night, I thought I watched 2 different games. It's a lot like that Ravens game on a much smaller scale.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting about quarterbacks in particular. The NFL, and this is something we might discuss. Me and Dimitri might discuss on OG Business. The NFL is starting to get their palms are getting a little sweaty about ratings. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. The YouTube experiment on Friday did not hit the way they thought it did. And they really need to
So
sell.
what was the premise of the YouTube experiment?
The YouTube experiment
it wasn't YouTube TV.
No,
it was YouTube.
YouTube. So the premise of the experiment on Friday is twofold. The first one is selling an international package to one of these streamers.
Okay.
They want every week an international game, and that's an exclusive to whoever, YouTube, if they want to.
Amazon.
Right. To add to their Thursday night package, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So that's number one. Number two is, to the NFL's credit,
Paramount. I don't know.
I mean, who knows? They want to sell it to a tech company. It's that simple.
Okay. Apple.
Potentially. The other aspect of that Friday night game.
Now, why was it not a success for YouTube?
The numbers just weren't good.
Okay.
Like, they were, especially the international number was not what they were expecting. And they also, now,
which is the point, because you can pick up YouTube anywhere.
Yeah. I
see what you're saying.
I was reading John Orand, who covers sports business for Puck News. I subscribe to his newsletter because it's a business expense. And he was highlighting the fact that the YouTube number wasn't on the same level as, say, Netflix with the Christmas Day
or Jake Paul fight.
No, for the NFL. So with Christmas Day and stuff like that, of course, the easy answer to that is, it's Christmas and it's Beyonce. Like, do you think people were tuning into that game just for the game? No, they were tuning in because they want to watch Beyonce do the halftime show. Like, come on now. So there's a little bit of freak out going on with that, with YouTube, it not selling. The other point is alternate broadcasts, like basically trying to present the game to people who might not necessarily watch the NFL. That's why you get like Mr. Beast doing some stuff and whatnot. But also the NFL has hit up Nielsen, and they're mad about how things are rated.
Oh boy.
Yes. So they're getting nitpicky.
Talk about radios.
Yeah.
Not me.
Me. So they're getting nitpicky about how things get measured. Okay. The other thing that factored into YouTube and why they might not be happy about it is because a lot of bars could not just get YouTube.
Really?
Because you needed the app. It wasn't TV. So you have to like download, like, it's weird. It's a whole weird setup.
Like very confused right now because even I know how to download the YouTube app.
I understand that, but there was some confusion about the availability of these things at bars, right? So I say all this saying that the NFL is getting a little sweaty over ratings and money because the number has to go up. This ties back to quarterbacks.
Okay.
Because you just hit on a couple of things that are interesting. There's a lot of new, fresh faces out there.
Yes.
And we just saw what happens when you got two of the dudes. We get Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are old by comparison.
Also, they were in the same game. And as someone who watched every game on Sunday, I was like, Daniels was good.
Sure. They need him to hit. But you start looking around.
You know who the best quarterback on Sunday was? Daniel Jones.
Well, that was more about the Dolphins.
Until the night game, until the feature game.
Although, if you ask some of the stat nerds, they'll tell you that Aaron Rodgers actually was the best quarterback out there, right?
And a pop pass for one of those touchdowns.
I know. I'll get to Rodgers in a second before we close up this segment. So what I'm getting at here is, well, all these young quarterbacks, they all need to hit. Yeah. They all need to hit because
some of them do. I mean,
that is the straw that stirs the drink with the NFL. Everything revolves around the QBs. And there's some confusion as to who are these young faces. They're unproven. And then, of course, you also have this shuffling of all these veteran quarterbacks as salvation projects. Aaron Rodgers is included in that. You got Sam Darnold in Seattle. You got Joe Flacco still out there somehow, some way, man. Justin Fields looks promising with the Jets, but it's also the Jets we're talking about. So they'll build you up only to depress you. I mean, Geno Smith looked good with the Raiders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Big game.
He did. And then, of course, you got Russell Wilson, who I know yesterday you said he's about to get his ass benched for yet another hot quarterback that people were hyped about in the preseason.
Yeah.
In Jackson Dart. And of course, that
he is starting week 2, by the way.
And that gets us to Russ's. Yeah, they're gonna wait to put Jackson. I think that's the right thing to do, by the way.
Yeah.
So which gets us to Aaron Rodgers and what exactly did we see over the weekend? Because I've seen this rush of like, oh man, Aaron Rodgers, he's that man. Okay. Like you said, pop passes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it shows you how bad the Steelers have gotten their quarterback position, that a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who clearly does not look like he's still in his prime, is that much of an upgrade. But also, let's factor in the Jets. Okay? They played the Jets. And after the game, we didn't talk about it a lot yesterday, but I thought it was actually somewhat relatable, along with Bill Belichick, in that he clearly wanted to stick to the Jets. He wanted to make sure, yeah, man, after all that BS of the last 2 years, as though he was the victim, because in classic Aaron Rodgers fashion, he thinks he's the victim,
right?
As though he had no role with the dysfunction with the Jets. Okay, but that's fine. You got to tell as a competitor, you have to tell yourself things that make you get hyped up, all that kind of stuff. Let's see Aaron Rodgers do it again, not the revenge game over the team that didn't want me anymore, right?
Also, they only won because a dude hit a 60-yard field goal at the Meadowlands. Like,
right.
That's hard to do.
Housekeeping.
Big thanks to Enovana. Check them out online at enovana.com. Green cleaning solution.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it green clean with Enovana.
We will be at Longleaf Swine on Thursday. 1
Pre-game.
o'clock, swine protocols.
Pre-after dark.
Pre-after dark. Did we really commit ourselves to if NC State loses to Wake Forest, we will go live?
Yeah, because we like money and yes.
The YouTube demands the views. Fine.
I don't make the rules.
So we'll be at Longleaf, 1 o'clock. We'll have hats that you can come through and pick up
hats.
If you want a Triangle Good hat or the script or the like the old school college ones that Giglio loves.
We have a lot of hats.
Come buy some. Giglio wants you to come buy hats. We also want you to come visit us at the Rialto on September 19th. We've got the Sklar brothers in the house. Balls versus Cancer, raising money for a great cause. And the Sklar brothers are going to make sure you have a great night. There will be OG Light at the Rialto. We will be hanging out with our friends, Chip Patterson from CBS Sports and Mike Maniscalco, Canes play-by-play. So, therialto.com, Balls versus Cancer with the Sklar brothers, September 19th. Big thanks to Matt Davis at State Farm. You got questions about like, well, how does this work now that I have like a 16-year-old who's fully driving? How much money can I save? These are questions that he can answer. Look, you might think you've got a good rate on your insurance. You might think that. Might could get you a better rate. All you got to do is start that conversation with Matt Davis, insuregarner.com, or call him directly at 919-779-8277. I'm sure that Josh over at Whitaker and Hammer is really excited about all the Bills talk we've had so far this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure
he's just excited about the Bills, period.
I would be too. Do you think if Josh was in the building, he would have left and disappointed Josh Allen the way that Bills fans did on Sunday night? Have a little faith in us, guys. Josh would have stayed the whole time. WH.lawyer, attorneys, and counselors at law. Mosquito Authority, Pest Authority. Longtime OG corporate champions. Support them because they've supported us. Bugsbite.com. Yes, it's getting cooler outside. It feels like fall. That means mosquitoes might be going away, or maybe not. I went on a walk yesterday afternoon. It was in a completely different part of the neighborhood. I'm walking here. I had mosquitoes landing on my arms. I'm like, these people did not contact Mosquito Authority.
No.
Just saying. because I'm literally in movement and I got mosquitoes landing on me. Nah. You don't want that. So hit them up today, bugsbite.com. You can bundle and save with Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. And Joe, it's finally time for our rescue of the week. Thanks to our friends at NC Grill Rescue.
No need to bury your barbecue. Call NC Grill Rescue. And now it's time for your NC Grill Rescue of the week.
What do we got?
Well, the team that needs to be rescued the most is clearly your Miami Dolphins. I don't know if I sent you the clip of Rex Ryan just absolutely bad-mouthing Mike McDaniel.
I saw it.
But I thought that was quite rich.
I know.
But it was some classic old school, like, they just don't respect their coach. And they don't play hard. They're soft. They're soft.
It's always my favorite. They're soft. I'm like, okay, man.
So as much as we want to bury the Dolphins, now I want them to be rescued because
they won't.
I know.
Mike McCarthy looks like a broken man.
McDaniel.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. See, I get these names screwed up all the time. Mike McDaniel. I don't even know complimentary. Mike, who knows? Mike McDaniel.
Maybe Mark McCarthy will be their next coach.
You know what? Maybe come up with some new tricks and not look like the same old tired offense that other teams can now figure out. Maybe then I'll start calling you Mike McDaniel on a normal basis.
I don't know how to rescue.
You can't.
But I want them to be rescued because people are dunking on them now. And you know how I feel. Like, it's one thing for us to dunk on you.
I know.
I don't like it when it becomes everyone dunking on you. So
I know.
My rescue of the week goes to the Miami Dolphins, and I hope that there's the ghost of Don Shula whispering, since apparently Bill Walsh is whispering to me.
If you are watching on YouTube, you know that music is tied to the OG Sports Phone, Curse or Don't. You can do that on the OG Sports Phone because we're a podcast. You don't have to worry about the FCC. But in Charlotte, on WFNZ, you do have to worry about the FCC. Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline is Walker Mehl. He hosts at WFNZ. Walker, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would like to curse on the airwaves in Charlotte these days.
I had to give people a warning. We took phone calls. We don't do it a lot. We do it for the big events, big trade, big game, first reactions. And I gave them a warning. Look, guys, we're going to dump you immediately. You cannot curse. And I've gotten a little worried over some of the callers, but I wasn't as worried previously as I was yesterday when we took phone calls, because if it was anything like the WFNZ text line, then it was going to be all sorts of expletives all over the place.
So I texted your colleague Kyle Bailey, who does afternoons at WFNZ. I went on a walk in the afternoon and I just said, man, I've never looked more forward to opening up the WFNZ app than I am today, just to kind of see what's
Yeah.
that was before I started listening. And what I picked up on and why I wanted to talk to you today is, look, after a couple of years, and if we want to focus specifically on Bryce Young and Dave Canales, after a while you start to become numb to it. And I get it's the first game out of the gate. Then there was hope and some optimism coming out of this offseason and through training camp. But once you give the customers that slop again, at some point, people start to just lose interest more so than they already have. And I got a feeling that based on some of the reaction that I picked up on yesterday, Panther fans are at this point, and it's going to take a while to get people back in that building more so than they needed to in the past.
Yeah, classic. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. They still hate the Panthers right now, but they do somewhere deep down love them and want them to succeed. And so, look, if you're talking about just Panthers interest level period, obviously in Charlotte, it still reigns supreme. You could construct your 3-hour show talking nothing about the Carolina Panthers, and that would be a good model for the ratings.
Dude, okay. I texted you while you were breathlessly covering practice.
Yes. That's right.
And I asked you, like, is this really like a thing people want? And you're like, yes. I was like,
No, it is. I felt it really, it was like, man, I am giving people tweet updates.
Yes.
But then I said that on air and made the joke about myself. Like, I really am doing this. Joe just texted me and I'm doing this. And they were like, but we kind of want it though. Like, that's what they were texting. We do want to hear the updates. We want to hear if there is some hope. Can we sip a little bit on the hopium going into the season? I was like, yeah, we're providing it for you a little bit. It's that slop, right? It's not the loss.
Mhm.
It's the slop. It's looking that bad. And because I think Wes, Kyle, myself, Mac, especially myself, I really thought this was a great barometer type game for Carolina.
Mhm.
And with so much hinging on that specific game because of the stretch that you have in the first month of the season, and then how we can project the Panthers after that first month going forward, there was a lot riding on the opener and the 3 games to follow. And that's how it looked, where you gave up 200 rushing yards again. Yikes. Bryce Young, while making some really nice throws in this game,
Mhm.
I had to take out my sword and fight against the people saying Bryce is still fine. He's still really good. Like, I was a defender of Bryce. Everything he did coming back in that game against Denver and the way he played on, like, he was actually good, not amazing, but actually good. You can't get bit by the turf monster and fumble a football right at the end of the half. That is a killer. The turnovers were killers. The throwing it out of the end zone was the angriest I got on 4th down. I don't care what happened beforehand. That's the time where I did yell expletives. I would have been fined by the FCC had that been on air. That was the maddest I got.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looked like that, Joe, and people are fed up. No doubt about it.
Well, it's interesting. I had jotted down for you who were the biggest losers in Sunday's loss to the Jaguars. And you just brought up that 4th and 1. I actually think it's Dave Canales, because this is year 2 with your quarterback, and you have been positioned as this quarterback guy. You've been able to resuscitate dudes in the past, and you can look at the track record.
Yep.
And yet, after the game and a little bit yesterday during the press conference, his Monday press conference, it's odd to me that they don't seem like they're in sync. And while you were mad on that 4th and 1, and fans were mad after that 4th and 1, and Bryce Young throwing it out of bounds on a five receiver set,
Mighty, yeah.
Bryce was mad. And Dave is doing his best not to completely sell Bryce out, talking about some miscommunications. But to me, it's more along the lines of, dude, you're the head coach. These communication issues are on you at this point, especially going into year 2.
Part of the issue, people were so angry, in my opinion. It's why I constructed my take, if you will, the leadoff take this way. It reminded us of so many Panthers problems of the past, allowing so many rushing yards, the Joe Brady era where we couldn't get a freaking play call in on time.
Right.
It reminded us of the operation from Joe Brady to Teddy Bridgewater to Pat Elflein, from head coach, quarterback, center. My God, just get the play in time so we don't have to call a timeout and burn one.
Right.
Valuable timeout. I mean, maybe Panthers didn't come back, but maybe they could have been useful. The fact that you still have wide receiver miscues with high draft picks there. Xavier Legette does not look good.
That was my second biggest loser, which we'll get to in a second, because I have some questions about his future.
And he should be somewhere in the top 3, top 2, maybe 1. So Xavier Legette, after Jonathan Mingo, after Terrace Marshall, the 2nd round picks all failing here in Carolina. Okay, now we're reminded of that history. Like, there was so many times where, and Dave Canales after the game, I'm not usually as hard on head coaches post game pressers, because there's just nothing they can say for fans to take in and be okay with it. There's nothing. You're angry. If you're angry, people are saying, great, you're angry, fix it on the field.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, they're asking, why aren't you angry? So I don't think Dave Canales can win in those situations, just like any coach, and losing that way. At the same time, there are some answers that don't ease my level of concern. And I'm reminded of Matt Rule pressers. Like, it's not that bad, but there was so much. There was so much reminding us of how bad it used to be, and I guess still is in this first game.
So to Xavier Legette, who I thought was the second biggest loser in Sunday's loss to the Jaguars, it's one thing to drop passes. It's another where you just don't look like you know what to do on the field at times. You're a passenger in the situation. And it's odd to me, considering that I'm sure these conversations were had in the offseason about what you need to do to get up to the level that we expect out of you. And right out of the gate in prime time, if you will, your first regular season game, it just looked like you almost regressed. And that's not good, because this is yet another issue talking about, you brought up the wide receivers. This is just, if we understand draft picks are a precious commodity, the Panthers have had so much to rebuild, and you're now seeing even the ones you did have aren't necessarily panning out. And that's got to draw even more sadness out of people.
I lied. I said I was the angriest on that throwaway. That's not true. I was actually infinitely more angry with Xavier Legette not getting another freaking foot down. That one was that happened, and I was beside myself.
I was upset about the interception. Like, dude, you got
that was bad.
You got to play through that.
That's true too. It looks bad for Xavier Legette. The problem with him is that everybody wants it so bad for him. Mingo didn't have the personality. Terrace Marshall doesn't. Everybody wants him to succeed so bad. And when you're that invested and he still just isn't giving you any return on your investment emotionally, that's what's so frustrating. Here's the interesting part too about Xavier Legette. 2-3 days before, what was interesting was that Jeremy Fowler on ESPN, they do their NFL Nation beat reporter collective. They give you all the takes, what they're hearing through training camp and practice and stuff. And Daniel Jeremiah, all right? So Jeremy Fowler, Daniel Jeremiah, both mentioned on separate podcasts / articles to watch out for Xavier Legette, right? After not hearing a whole lot about him this offseason, it was Jeremy Fowler telling you fantasy football-wise, he's going to be a factor. Pay attention down there in Carolina. Daniel Jeremiah said he thinks Xavier Legette's going to lead the team in receiving, which was surprising. Like, also considering the source, that's somebody you should listen to. Like, he's not just throwing takes out there for the sake of it. So what's going on here? Are they trying to get this out for a particular reason? Are these guys just not all that high on T-Mac? Because he was a little polarizing as that selection at number 8 overall.
Sure.
And then he follows it up with that, right? Like the 8 targets he got, 3 receptions for not even 20 yards. And then T-Mac looks the way he did, which was probably the biggest winner in all of this. Yeah. Was good.
To me, he was the biggest winner in a sloppy affair overall. You could see the potential there. But then again, we also saw the potential with Xavier Legette last year. It was just like, if you could just clean these things up, you're good to go.
It looks different though, right? Like, I think for me, yeah. Man, the explosion, awesome stuff from Xavier Legette coming out. Like, that's cool. I feel like you got to be fluid at wide receiver. I don't, the straight line speed stuff, that's great if you're just going to try to catch go balls all the time. But the problem with XL is everything looks hard. Screen passes, it looks hard to get any positive yardage. If you do get open and separate downfield, are you going to bring the football in? We're all nervous about that. With T-Mac, I feel good about you catching the football, even with his problems in the preseason. He didn't have those problems in college. So I feel good about you hauling those passes in. And he just looks fluid. He changes his speed. There's some nuance to his game where it's XL is just all 100% go all the time. Like, the game feels too fast, and T-Mac feels like he's cruising and turning it on when he needs to create that separation. Like, it looks very different between these two.
Now, to Bryce specifically, I get what you're saying. To me, it's a little bit more of I looked at it more of as a heads up play by the Jaguars to punch the ball out. I get what you're saying. You got to slide, don't get eaten by the turf monster, all that kind of stuff, but also a heads up play to the Jaguars. Like, credit to them.
Yeah.
And with Bryce, the one thing that, if we're going to look at this from an optimistic point of view, when they looked like they turned things around last year, we do forget there was one of those burn the tape games against the Dallas Cowboys. And it didn't just kind of compound on itself again. They bounced back. And if you're looking at any sort of bright side to this, is that they at least showed you the ability to bounce back after a game like Dallas. Can they do the same thing after the Jaguars, especially when the schedule is still somewhat manageable right now before things turn around? Because if you're going to do it, you got to do it now if you're the Panthers.
Right. That's exactly right. You have to do it now. Yeah, I think you can have confidence. And that's when I tweeted what I tweeted about Bryce. I thought it was the worst game that he had played since he'd come back. And I included the Dallas game. The reason I included the Dallas game, he had zero protection. He was running for his life constantly against the Cowboys. Even Taylor Moton, who is a really good pass protector, got blown up. It didn't matter who was going against Taylor Moton. There wasn't that much pressure in this game. Like, he didn't have nearly as much pressure as Trevor Lawrence because the Panthers defense can't create any pass rush, but he wasn't bottom 5, right? He wasn't, I don't even know if he was bottom 10 in pressure rate in the NFL this past weekend. There was enough time, in my opinion, for you to be able to play better than what you did. Austin Corbett struggles. My God, he was terrible. One of the worst games that you could easily see from a center that I've seen in quite some time. But my issue with Bryce was the timely mistakes, the drive killing mistakes. Like going back and watching that interception, great play by the defender. I thought you were throwing it when he put his foot in the ground and was already breaking. Like he was already doing that when you decided to throw it. The fumble, I would be a little more lenient with Bryce if he didn't have fumble issues before. And that Dallas game, he's fumbling it. So hold on to it, man. That's one where you just got to squeeze it a little tighter. Dave Canales talked about that as well. I thought he missed some throws downfield. There was one to Hunter where I'm a little more lenient because there was pressure in his face. There was one later in the game, probably didn't matter, but it was still a missed throw. Thought you could lead T-Mac a little more middle. Like what I'll say about Bryce is this bad game, I will say, wasn't nearly as bad as the first 2 games he played last year where you had to bench him. So this is not uncomebackable from. And that is
it's
your
also
point.
Unfair. It's also unfair to some of the context with those. I get the fumble. I'm not going to disagree with you on the fumble. But I'll go back to that Xavier Legette. Just play through it. Maybe it doesn't end up into a tip drill with an interception. Rico Dowdle, they're late. Like, dude, you got to catch that ball. Like, I don't understand.
Oh, yeah, that one's not on Bryce, no doubt.
I don't know why you don't pull that down. So I get the final stat. I get the final stats. You're looking at the turnovers and things like that. But there's also some context in that Bryce wasn't done any favors by his teammates. And I think that's where we're kind of at right now with the Panthers in that Giglio said this yesterday. He calls it loft, a lack of fucking talent. Right
I was
now.
watching. Yeah.
I like that. When it comes to the Panthers. And that to me shows itself on defense. Okay.
Yeah.
Throw in Wharton getting hurt. Or was he going to be 2 to 4 weeks?
Hamstring. That's right.
Okay. Like, hey, you know what? At least it's not a Derek Brown situation. It's only 2 to 4 weeks this time. So fingers crossed, right? So I get it on the defensive side of the ball. But that's not what people want to focus on because we're just focused on quarterbacks all the freaking time, right? It's like, it's kind of funny in that we just saw Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson put on a freaking show Sunday night, and people want to make it about Lamar Jackson and a gagged lead. Like, actually, that's more of a Harbaugh problem to me than it is a Lamar. Like, what more do you want Lamar Jackson to do? What more do you want Derrick Henry to do, right? But with Bryce, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different because of where he was picked, what the expectations are. And you're just, worst case scenario is just we're a couple weeks into the season and everybody's ready to call it. I know people are ready to call it after Sunday because, again, I listened to a little bit of FNZ throughout the day. People are ready to call it now, but you got to get a little more time before you say that. I know what the worst fear is. But let's see how they bounce back from this before you have to make that call, because that's a really important call. I'm not saying you got to hold on to Bryce. I'm just saying let's wait till we get to the middle of the season before you start to decide, you know what? It's time to move on.
Oh, yeah. No, and there's no reason to move on right now. Part of me saying that this was the worst game Bryce has played since he comes back or since he came back, Dallas is the one that you could absolutely point to and say that's it. Not a big argument for me. Part of it is that he played well. Like in all those other games, that he played so well that this is the only one that I could put up there as another bad game, right? Against Philly, made some throws late. Against Kansas City, made throws late. The last 3 games of the season, my God, he was a Pro Football Focus darling all across the website, wherever you click on a headline. Part of it is the fact that he did play so well once he did come back, which was it's still bonkers that happened, by the way. Like we just got to check in on that, how crazy it is that he quarterbacks that get benched don't come back and do that with the team that benched them. If they do it, it's with a different team. Anyways, you shouldn't give up on Bryce right now. What he didn't look like a quarterback that's never going to be able to figure it out to me. I just thought he had a bad game, but I'm ready for him to bounce back from this in the next one. And then if you talk about loft, I do think that's a little more reserved for the defense. Offense, the offensive line is good. It's not elite. It's not Philadelphia Eagles, but it's top 10 offensive line unit, especially when Icky comes back. We'll see about Corbett, but I think they're a top 10 unit. T-Mac looks like the real deal. I think Jalen Coker is going to be good enough. And I like Coker, so I think he'll be good.
He better be
Yeah.
good. I know he got
Yeah.
hurt, and we're 2 weeks away from him potentially being back.
So, no, man, it's actually so IR keeps you out at least the first 4 games. So it looks to be 4. Say it's not a good injury, especially one.
I forgot he was put on IR.
Yeah.
My bad. I forgot he was.
Oh no, you're good. It points to, of course, the timing of it all.
Yes,
it happens the day after you trade Adam Thielen.
Mm-hmm. You think Adam Thielen wants back after the JJ McCarthy experience on Monday Night Football?
The question: do we want him back if he's going to drop meaningful passes? That's yes. I'm sorry, Adam. We do want you back. How bad it is.
I saw this question posed. It's like, well, who won that Panthers Vikings Thielen trade?
Oh, I saw that too.
And the answer is nobody.
Yeah,
nobody. Yeah. I mean, that's what if you really wanted to be about it, I guess the Panthers did because they're replenishing their draft picks. But about Jalen Coker, I mean, clearly the upside is there because he's the one who stands to benefit the most by Thielen going out. Yes, the poor timing of it all, but I mean, clearly they have high hopes on this guy to work something out. And Thielen didn't want to be here either. That's another factor that you want to put in when you're talking about players who wants to be here. That's why I thought the Hunter Renfrow story was interesting. Is like it's either going to be with the Panthers or I'm not going to play at all, right?
Yeah,
he's a feel good story. But I'm sitting here like, what am I talking about? We're banking on Jalen Coker, undrafted wide receiver, to be like the guy in the slot, right?
Yeah.
You're hoping that. I mean, and that was my other concern for Bryce Young this season is that you're really banking on your lottery tickets to hit. And I don't know about you, but typically when I go to my dad's and he gives me a lottery scratch off, I'm lucky to get enough money to get another ticket. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you're really banking on scratching off here, and it doesn't seem like that's actually going to pan out.
We got $100 one time from my brother over the last 15 years, who does this every single Christmas, gives everybody lottery tickets, and 100 is still the biggest earnings on a $25 ticket. So I hear what you're saying.
Jacob, my younger son, once hit $300 on a scratch off. He was hype.
There you go, to Sizzler, baby. Awesome stuff.
Hype.
But that's what will be if one of these guys turns out to be $100 value. You get 100 cents on the dollar, that return on investment. Yeah. The good news is T-Mac looks like the real deal. It's one game, but hell yeah, top 10 pick. This will be fun. The other thing about Dave Canales being the biggest loser, perhaps here's another reason as to why he's number one. Not only is he considered the QB guru, he's considered the wide receiver guru, which I always thought was an underrated part of his story. If you look at Seattle and you look at all the wide receivers that they've had during the Legion of Boom era, which Dave Canales was with for, pretty much his entire time, wide receivers played better there than they played anywhere else. They would get big contracts, they'd go to a different team, and they'd never be heard from again. Doug Baldwin, underrated wide receiver, had a career in Seattle. He only stayed with that team, but was like always classic, underrated, the 12 seed you pick against the 5 seed in the March Madness tournament. He was considered that kind of guy. Tampa Bay, you start to see Chris Godwin have awesome years. Mike Evans just continues it, but even goes a little bit further than what he had produced before. He was the wide receiver guru. So now we can be in this space where is T-Mac just so talented as a top 10 pick that you don't give Canales all that much credit for whatever he produces? Okay, now we go down a peg. Where can we give him credit? Jalen Coker, cool. I'm with that.
Cool.
But XL, I need my wide receiver guru to get my first round pick cooking. And my God, it's been real bad for him. As much as I want it to work out for him, it's not been all that great for him. We keep holding on to David Moore, who's older and is like fine. Oh God, you'd rather have somebody else. Yeah. Wide receiver guru, I hope he allows all these guys to hit their ceiling as much as possible, because we haven't seen it with XL, and that's a bad mess.
Mehl, WFNZ. Check them out. Download the app if you're in the area. You can check them out like I do, just for some giggles to see what happens with the text line. Also, I haven't taught. Did you get my shirt?
Yes, I do have your shirt. By the way,
because I need my summer league shirt.
We're going to get it to you before Hornets season, so you can be a real Hornets fan this year. You can sport it. Real quickly,
lifelong Hornets fan. See, I'm all about it. I got my summer league shirt.
I promise I do not say this to inquire about any money, because that is not here. I'm here to spread. Oh,
how much was that shirt?
Oh, Joe. $50.
$50 for the summer league shirt?
Joe, I had a whole rant to lead off the show that went over by 5 minutes. because of how frustrated I was with the team. I mean,
50
I was mother effing them. I did it on Locked On Hornets. Like I had this whole thing. I mean, the audacity,
dude,
to charge $50 for a summer league shirt, by the way, which is basically T Public material. Oh my God. It's not dry fit. It's
the problem. Now that we've gotten into the merch business here at OG Media LLC, I know what the overhead is, right?
Oh no, there's no excuse.
There's
trust
no
me
excuse for that. I just went to go see Nine Inch Nails on Friday, and I scoffed at a $45 Nine Inch Nails shirt, a $90 hoodie. Like, I love Trent Reznor. I love being here. Great show, but I ain't dropping $45 on a concert tee. I don't even know what the material is. $50?
Oh my God. It was so bad. I couldn't stand it. Yeah. I mean, here we are. As soon as you have an opportunity to charge the hell out of the people that support you most, this was all some fun thing. Let's just have some fun. Let's put out some t-shirts and celebrate. And you charge, not to mention you have to pay to go parking in Charlotte. I've already done the thing. I've ranted about this a million times.
I missed the rant. I'm mad now. I'm going to go back and find it.
I'll be honest with you. I'll pat myself on the back. I went after him, man. Like it was maddening.
Walker, I'm not trying to get in your pockets. I just know that having worked in radio for a very long time, $50 for a shirt, that's asking a lot for us.
We hurting out here. We hurting. Hornets fans, it's tough. we just want to celebrate a summer league title. That'll be $50, please and thank you.
I hope the Locked On Hornets affiliate money that came in from YouTube was good for that rant. Please let
views are up.
All right, good.
Okay,
good.
yeah,
That's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. Walker, we appreciate the time. I will Venmo you $50.
No, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it. We're spreading the wealth. We're spreading the wealth.
No, I'm Venmoing you $50. There's under no circumstances should you be spending $50 on a shirt for me, of all things. But I will Venmo you once I
want to see you wear it. I will
wear it.
Okay. All right. I want to see you wear it. All right. I want you to cheer on the Hornets to another 27-win season. I'm ready for that.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Joe.
Big thanks to Chris Brassfield. Brassfieldaccounting.com. He is a fractional CFO. Fractional. What exactly does that mean? It means that you might be a small business like me and Giglio. OG Media LLC is a two-person LLC. We do not have an actual CFO.
We do not.
I jokingly refer to Giglio as a CFO, but Joe has his limits.
I do.
There comes to a point where you bump up on that knowledge. And you're like, well, wait a minute. I got to deal with what with the government, and there's all these forms,
or I can do what you tell me to do, but I'm not smart enough to know all the rules. Well, Chris knows all the rules
to make sure that you are in compliance. More importantly, if you are dealing in the world of government grants for whatever it is you do, that compliance is kind of key to make sure that money keeps flowing. And Chris is going to make sure that stays that way. So hit him up online. Brassfieldaccounting.com, based in Homer, Alaska, because the OG, it goes beyond the continental United States.
We are at the last frontier. That's what you think of when you think of us.
Wait a minute.
24 hours of sunlight. Moose.
I'm having a day.
Elk.
Complimentary. Wait a minute. Would Alaska still be the contiguous United States? Not continental. It's still on the same continent.
Yeah, you are having a little bit of a wordplay day, aren't you?
I'm having a problem, man.
I didn't even catch that one in real time. So
I just called it the contiguous.
There you go.
United States goes beyond.
I always wished Alaska would celebrate being the 49th state, because you know me. I like when people don't do round number things, right?
Well,
like I know I just made a big deal about my 50th birthday this year. I get that, but I'm all about like, why does it have to be a round number? Like, why can't at the risk of encouraging NC State to celebrate the 83 team in an odd, even numbered year? Like, hey man, like why does it have to be like 10 every 10, 20, 30, 40, 50? Why can't we just be? Because Hawaii is very proud of being the 50th state, right?
Yes.
Well, why can't Alaska be super proud of being the 49th state?
I'm actually convinced the reason why we don't have any more states is because we got to 50 and people were like, well, 50 sounds good. Sounds good. It's round number.
Think about it. Our parents were not only alive, but like in high school. Yeah. No, they were just born when we only had 48 states.
Yeah. We should probably have like 52 or 53 at this point. I guess. It's like DC and Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Okay. At least DC, Puerto Rico. But that's another story altogether. Big thanks to Roback. We've got a little off target there.
My point, Alaska, be proud that you're 49. Also, my point, if you need help with your accounting and keeping up with such things,
Yes.
Brassfield Accounting, that's 1S, brassfieldaccounting.com.
Big thanks to Roback, RHOBACK.com. Use that promo code OG20. I was talking about, you being a small business, you have to look somewhat presentable when you have meetings. You know what? Roback has like just straight up solid print, just solid color polos that look fantastic when you have
the solids.
The solids look fantastic when you just have to have a casual business.
Dress them up a little bit. I love it when people text me and say, hey, what is your Roback code? What is it again? OG20.
OG20.
Yesterday, I think it was John who texted me yesterday. Hey, I haven't used the code yet. And I was like, anyway. I was talking to Ben about getting us a new code and some other things, like a repeat code and some other things. He's like, yeah, Joe, so our whole business model is about acquiring new customers. And I was like, oh,
got it.
Okay. But hey, OG20.
Speaking of promo codes, use OG25 with our friends Happy and
Take a
Mehl.
break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Mehl.
And today is actually a perfect Happy and Hail day when it comes to the app, because I'm not really going to have much time to do anything when we get done with today's podcast, because I'm the brilliant mind that signed Jacob up for a defensive clinic at 3:00 in the afternoon.
I was going to say,
at Wake Competition Center.
This has got Joe as hockey dad written all over.
So I'm going to have enough time to run to Happy and Hail at North Hills to grab a smoothie.
Yep. Then you got to go home and get your jacket.
I got to get Jacob's hockey stuff, his whole
and
bag.
your jacket.
Then I got to go to Enloe Carpool, get him, and then space trucking over to Wake Comp. Then I got to go back for Enloe Open House. And then I got to go back to Wake Competition Center.
Why do you have to go to the Enloe Open House?
Because it's his first year. It's his freshman.
Oh, he's got to go.
Yeah. And I go with him. Meet the teachers, all that stuff. Did you never do those?
Not in high school.
Oh, well,
you're on your own now, kid.
It's his freshman year. It's his freshman year. Caleb, senior year? Nah, you talk about on your own.
Right.
Yeah, dude, whatever. So anyway, I'll be driving a lot back and forth, driving all over the place today. I got enough time to go to Happy and Hail, so check them out. Happy and Hail, download the app OG25 to save 25% off your order. Big thanks to our friends at Bloomin' Blinds. Speaking of the junior canes, that's how I know Chris, Nico, over at Bloomin' Blinds. Check them out, 919-980-9815. You've got shades. You've got an office that needs to get that conference room dressed up. You get that afternoon sun hitting the screen. You can't do your presentations. Well, Bloomin' Blinds can help you out with that with a little automation. So check them out, bloominblinds.com, or call them at 919-980-9815. Big thanks to our friends at DraftKings. You can check them out online, download that app, and then use the promo code OG25. When you bet $5, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, you can score $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Although I know there are some people who are, if you're thinking about like at the Dolphins, if you're thinking about YouTube TV, save money on it with our promo code, because there are already some people regretting about, man, I'm really going to watch the Dolphins this way. I kid. Anyway,
the Sunday package is very well worth it, and I'm glad that DraftKings has a discount for our users.
So here's what you do. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that promo code as a new customer, OG25. You bet $5, you get $200 in bonus bets, which I would recommend you go and look at the Carolina Panthers, because everybody's down on them. They're taking on the Arizona Cardinals on the road, a very winnable game. The Panthers are right now plus 6.5. They're plus 230 straight money line, $5 gang. Right now,
yeah,
I think they're going to win that game straight up.
Odds and lines can change.
They can. I'm just confident that the Panthers, after talking with Walker, I'm convinced that
feeling better.
I'm feeling better.
That's good.
I think it'll be fine. So straight money line when it comes to the Panthers this week. Anyway, it's your season, your shot. NFL is rolling right now, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use that promo code OG25 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only. Auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
It's the lightning
Ooh, man, we got a lot of social media stuff to get through, but let's go into my new existential crisis about the state of sports media and how we are being lapped by the youths who have the time and energy to go to college campuses and get the content. Salute to you, youngins. This is something called Snapback Sports. Folks, when I tell you everything is sports talk radio, everything is sports talk radio. This dude at Snapback Sports showed up to Chapel Hill, talked to some drunk UNC students, I assume, allegedly, and the question was posed, UNC football national championship or lose to Duke the next 10 years in basketball? I think what they're asking is, this is a bad prompt. This is why you're not a sports talk radio professional. No, the prompt is, would you trade a UNC football national championship understanding you'll lose to Duke in basketball for the next 10 years? That's the prompt. That's the prompt. Just like I think I asked one time years ago that got people mad to ask the question, I think it was related to NC State.
Would you get a bullet
to the thigh if it meant UNC would never win anything of note for the next 10 years? And I had people texting me and messaging me on social media saying, here's both thighs. Anyway, here's Snapback Sports.
You trade a national championship in football this year, but you lose to Duke and hoops the next 10 years.
Yes. I would. Hell no.
Would you do
10 years?
10 years. Twice a year,
No,
10 years.
no,
All right, would you do 5?
I don't know. I really want to see it.
So real quick, who is this knockoff PFT commenter?
I mean, it's a great shirt, first of all.
Oh, with the polo?
But the glasses.
No,
and
seriously,
the
that's
puffy
like,
mic gets me. Those puffy mics get me. They trigger me.
I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this like the son of PFT? Maybe it is. I have no idea.
National championship. I care
5
more about,
years.
Personally, I care more about football than
All right, so you would. Why wouldn't you do 5?
because I don't want to curse my team like that.
Okay, would you do 2?
Yeah, I do too.
3?
No.
All right, is that 2?
I care about my team, you know?
But natty.
Even I don't want to put my beliefs over the rest of the team, over the rest of the school.
But you get a natty.
I do 3.
Okay.
I do 3.
All right, you get out of here.
I appreciate
I care more about football, buddy. Just wait.
See, that's the problem with the man on the street. Like, that was terrible. The answer was terrible.
It was a terrible answer.
Yeah.
Terrible answer. Our guy, Connor Prince.
Oh, this guy's starting to move up my rankings, though.
He is.
He's
yes.
moving up my power rankings.
So this is a former.
He's got to get rid of that stupid fucking Patriots hat. but-
He's a former college basketball player. He was in Chapel Hill. We actually played something from him last week, I
with
think.
Caleb Wilson.
That's right. It was the Caleb Wilson
Yeah.
cut. Thank you. So he went around and asked.
Now, this is something I would have had if I was a sports editor at the News Observer. This is what I would have people go around asking.
Would you date Bill Belichick?
Belichick was single. Would you date him?
Depends on how much he's making.
1,000%? Yes.
No, absolutely not. Big no? No. 0 for 10.
Those were all cheerleaders, by the way.
The cheerleaders were like, hell no. I don't know. Maybe they changed their mind when they saw him in that quarter zip in Charlotte the other day. It was very, very form-fitting. Very form-fitting. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the future of sports talk.
The future of rock and roll.
Let's see. Where else in our world of college things? What do we got? Yes. I found this interesting. I got a drink. Missouri.
Oh, yeah. It does.
So there was a student reporter for the Missouri paper I believe the kid's name is like Zach Steele or Zach Sweet, I believe is the kid's name. So he was asked to make a pick between Missouri and Kansas. And he said, look, man, journalistic integrity, I'm going to go with Kansas. And here's the reason why. Yeah, it's like any other pick segment. But Missouri ended up coming back to win this game. And Drink decided to use this as an opportunity to tell the kid he had a bad take.
And then I'm just going to say it's a really poor take that you had on picking Kansas to win. So with that, we'll start that front right here, Coach. On it.
Okay, man. Let the kid live. Let the kid live, man.
Those coaches keep track of all that shit.
Like
they really do. Like I remember Diamond Dave one time being like, "Oh, I saw that you picked so and so," and I'm like, "Why do you never point it out when I pick you to win?"
Funny.
Like,
oh, do you think?
And then you lost. So do I get to be mad at you that I picked you to win and you lost? Like, is that what you want?
Well, for instance, this week,
spoiler, it's not what you want.
Are we going to hear about how we actually commended Dave Doran this week?
I don't know. I think there's some confusion. I don't have any beef with Dave.
We just conduit for the fans.
No, like and also Dave's got no beef with me.
Oh, I know.
You know?
Yeah.
So
no, but my point is,
no, I know what you're saying is when you say something nice, are you going to hear about? No. Now, no. I would say yes. I have heard specifically from Dave Doran before.
I've never heard
before.
Okay.
In previous instances where he would say to me, "Okay, that was nice," or "I enjoyed that."
Okay,
that was good.
Okay,
or it might have even been backhanded, like, "I know it's going to be rare, but." It was a rare example, but you know, I got no problem with that.
Okay,
every once in a while, you got to point to the passer, and in his defense, he has done that before. In his defense,
meanwhile, Steve Sarkisian,
it's 13 years, man. Shit.
I know. Shit, just be happy we're still here. You know. Meanwhile, Steve Sarkisian, Texas head coach, was getting asked questions about the health of Arch Manning.
He was wincing when he was throwing the football.
There's a couple stills making the rounds on the internet where he is clearly wincing.
Yeah.
And Sarkisian did not like the line of questioning, but also went on a bizarre angle.
Okay.
In questioning and having issues with this question.
Arch Manning seemed to be having some throwing pains by the
According to
quarter.
who?
Arch
said that to you?
No.
Oh, according to who?
It just looked like he
doesn't have any.
Is there an explanation to why it looked like that?
I don't know. I've never filmed any of you guys when you're using the bathroom, so I don't know what faces you make when you're doing that.
Was he going to the bathroom?
So was Arch Manning crapping his pants? Why, is that why he was wincing? Did he have bubble guts? Which I get, like, hey man, you got that gas bubble. It's like, you're gonna make a face. I don't understand why he went there.
That literally makes me want to. I can't cash any of them because Texas is so down bad that
I bet.
I have all these freaking Texas tickets that are just.
I'm just like,
I'm worried about people. Wait, why would you film anyone taking? I know there's something on the internet for everyone.
Something on the internet for everybody, man. Something on the internet for everybody.
I'm worried.
I'm also worried for Kalen DeBoer. This was on a local Alabama affiliate about the Powerball.
I did see this.
And they were asking, man on the street interviews. In this case, woman on the street. And they asked this woman, hey, what would you do if you won the Powerball payout?
I'll tell you exactly what I'd do with the first $70 million. I'd pay off Kalen DeBoer and get him the heck out of the University of Alabama. And then I'd take whatever else it took to get rid of the AD.
She says she'd also give some money to her church and save some for taxes.
That's the kicker. That's the kicker right there. I'm going to fire his ass. I'm going to get rid of the AD. And the rest is for Jesus.
And the government.
Susie bringing the heat.
It's good.
You know what, man? Alabama's just built different, man. It's just built different. And my conduit to Alabama fans is through Dimitri. And
yes,
he's like Susie. He's like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll buy it out. Here we are. When it comes to Alabama, typically my attitude is, hey man, you don't have a permanent run on this. Like we've talked about this with Carolina basketball. We've talked about this with Duke basketball. We've talked about this any number of ways in which, hey man, it's not guaranteed you're going to be able to run this show forever. And Alabama has those instances before they landed on Nick Saban. Okay. But that's not how it works in Alabama. That's not an appropriate answer in Alabama. Moving on. Ryan Clark. There's a two-parter with Ryan Clark.
Oh boy.
Let's start with Ryan Clark on the pivot. You sent me this.
Oh, this is a good one.
This is Channing. This is what Channing Crowder apparently thinks Russell Wilson is lame. Not the first person to claim that Russell Wilson.
Maybe
is
on the
lame.
record though. Well, Richard Sherman probably, but
yeah, man. Trust me, he's not the first person to say Russell Wilson's lame.
This is good though.
But this is interesting because the setup here is that Sierra, Russell's wife, went on with Charlemagne the God, and Charlemagne did the weakest thing you could ever do as a radio host. Some people are saying ... and Sierra called him out on this.
I guess they really ain't know where to start but here. Sierra was on the Breakfast Club.
When you hear people say Russell Wilson is corny, what's your honest reaction?
Oh my gosh, that I don't have to even reply to that.
Charlemagne being petty. Charlemagne was being messy.
Yeah.
And even when she was answering the question, she was like who?
Who's the man saying it?
Mm-hmm. What Channing Crowder said it.
He said Channing Crowder.
He should have. Because I saw it. I did, and I saw answer. And then she want to go back to, but he's a loving person and a great husband. I didn't say he's not a great husband. It's amazing what he's doing with Lil Future. Like, the dude is a good human. He is lame still. I don't know if anybody doesn't understand. They're not running me off of this point. Lame is an opinion. She even said it. So who's saying? Because that's their opinion. Yeah. She's from Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta. She wasn't going to date Russ back in 2000.
And there it is. That's really the heart of the issue. Somebody's mad that there was Sierra and he is not. Oh, look, he's a loving guy. This is and that. I don't know. Maybe that's what Sierra wants, dude. I don't know if that makes you lame. I mean, yeah, you can make fun of Russ, but he's with Sierra and you're not. That was my interpretation of Channing Crowder in that situation.
Oh, you cut him off there. He kept cooking a little bit. He was good. I enjoyed it.
No, I saw what I needed to see. Somebody is jealous. Straight up. Somebody's jealous. It's that simple. Now, Ryan Clark is in that clip. Ryan Clark's been kind of going through it this year.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of stepped in it with RG3. He had to apologize.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that stuff? There was also the Bill Belichick stuff with the Pivot podcast of like what was kept in and what wasn't. Like, Ryan's very online and he's been kind of stepping in it. And he stepped in it last week and it bled over into the weekend when he got into it with Peter Schrager on Get Up.
Wake up this morning. Are you feeling okay? You look at AJ Brown, which is this #1 wide receiver who got one target all night, and then you got CeeDee Lamb. But that's the when was the one target? That's the target. But I'm saying when was the one target? I'm saying you could have it both ways. 54 seconds left in the game on 2nd and 11. It was the one target. He runs the out route. You wake up this morning saying AJ Brown had a better day than CeeDee Lamb. But you know what you wake up saying though? AJ Brown's team is 1-0. Of course, right? Like that's what I get it. But the thing is this though, and we shouldn't do this on TV. And so I apologize if people think this is rude. That's the non-player. Oh, view. Stop. That's no, that CeeDee Lamb is let me tell you why. I'm not looking at fantasy football. Ryan, I'm not, don't belittle me like that. I could come in and say, as 3 ex-players are saying one thing and give an alternative perspective that maybe CeeDee Lamb did play well. And Peter, what I need for you to do is not get mad and let me finish for one. Okay, go on. It wasn't about you. It was going to be about me. Okay. As a player, I can't speak for CeeDee Lamb. I'm speaking for me.
Anyway, that clip went viral. A lot of people in the media were dunking on Ryan Clark with little strays here and there. Mike Florio did it. I think Kyle Brandt had done it. And it blew up into this whole, athletes versus people who didn't play and all that kind of stuff. The only thing I would add to this, outside the fact that Ryan Clark has had an interesting year, to say the least. Typically, in my experience, once a former athlete in the media pulls the "you never played" game, he plays that card.
Yep.
It tells me they've lost the argument. Because if that's all you got left, that tells me you got nothing left. And that the point has been made.
Well, you don't know anything anyway because you never played.
That tells me I won the argument. Moving on. It's happened plenty of times in my experience. More often than not, I end up being right. Meanwhile, we had some of our listeners send us up some interesting items. This is clearly from, I only know this because this is a Huddle camera. Somebody was on Huddle. Somebody pulled this off Huddle. This is a Little League baseball game. And this poor umpire, I believe, was hit in the nuts 3 times in one game. I think the audio is important here. You can hear every man watching this game, every dad going, whoa, 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 whoa. My favorite part is the guy goes, time out, time out, time out.
Walk away for a minute.
Here's the next one.
Stay alive, Brian. Good job, bud.
The ump needs to stay alive. Not Brian. Yeah, way to stay alive, Brian. No, the ump needs to stay alive. He's already down 0-2 in the count.
Walk out. Ryan, all the way over here. All the way over here.
Wearing a shirt.
Yo, we know what?
He struck out. No, it's over.
Jim, Joey, step to the fence.
Step to the fence. I'm retiring. And finally, I believe this shout out to T. T blows up our Instagram feed.
He does well. He's like our researcher.
He kind of is an internet researcher for us. He sent us American ice football.
Where is this going?
This is in Germany. I don't have the sound on right now, but it's basically people on an ice rink with they got the goalposts, all that kind of stuff. They're looking like
gloves
and no gloves. Well, there's some with gloves. There are some with gloves, and they're just playing football on the ice with skates, tackling, throwing.
No, those aren't skates.
Oh no, they're not on skates.
They're bowling shoes.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Of course, I got an ad there, but that's the other over there. You want to try that for our 3rd anniversary?
No.
Yeah, your neck would never recover on that one.
Nope.
Your neck would never recover. Big thanks to Miller Lending. You can check them out online at millerlending.com. 919-447-3377. millerlending.com/theog is our landing page. Take your business there. Key reasons why. The interest rates, just the rate. There's no games. There's no gimmicks. There's no buying down of a rate. You're thinking you're going to get a better deal. You're going to keep this interest rate for a bunch of years, a decade or something like that. You're not. Typically, people refinance about every 4 years. And it takes about an 8-year average to recoup the cost of those closing costs to save $50, $75 a month. You see, the math ain't math in here. So refinance with Miller Lending. If the rate comes down in the future, you refinance again. I've done it a bunch of times and I've saved money every single time. And also not freaking out about extending my term because every time I've gone, 20-year, et cetera, right? So the other thing about Miller Lending that is important to me and should be for you is they're not going to force you or rush you into something that doesn't make sense for you financially. And I've had that told to me too. I would say, hey, I could use some money to do this to refinance and do a home remodel. It actually does not make sense for you to do that right now. So wait 6 months, then we can have that conversation. That's important because they're not putting you in a situation that is not financially beneficial. So contact Miller Lending today. Check them out online, millerlending.com/theog. Take that thing to close and you'll get a Raleigh Wine Shop gift basket. Speaking of homes, housing market's a little weird right now. You might have some anecdotal evidence from your friends. Maybe they've had their house on the market for a very, very long time. Maybe it doesn't make sense to put your house on the market right now. Just start the conversation. myhtr.com. Hometown Realty is going to guide you through this process. No business about cash offers that are leaving money on the table. This is understanding where the market is and how it works for you. And it all starts with the conversation with our friends at Hometown Realty. So check them out online at myhtr.com. Or maybe you're looking to buy a house and you have very specific needs. Like I need a gigantic walk-in freezer for all the 2 roosters that I purchase. I hoard it because every month the flavors change and I want to make sure that I have the flavor that I like for a long period of time. I need a walk-in freezer. They can do that for you. And then you go to 2 Roosters and buy all the ice cream you want. 2roosters.com. They've got their new flavors rolling in right now.
God, Would I make it if I had a walk-in freezer?
I think so. I think you would love a walk-in freezer for two reasons. One, you could be surrounded by two roosters. You could lay flat in a hoodie and you would feel amazing.
You're right.
You would feel amazing.
You're right.
So go to tworoosters.com.
I would say I wasn't thinking.
I need to head out there this week because I still haven't had the fluffernutter yet. That's on me.
Oh, dude.
That's on me.
The Tang one is really good too. It's a creamsicle. Tang.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good.
Is it powdery?
No. It's orangey. It's like an orange creamsicle dream.
Big thanks to the Butcher's Market. Maybe you're going to go tailgate on Thursday for the NC State Wake Forest game. By all means, come visit us at Longleaf Swine. But if you can't do that, you still want to tailgate, you go to Butcher's Market. You can go get a sandwich or anything you want to throw up on the grill. So, thebutchersmarkets.com. Get all your tailgating needs at our friends at the Butcher's Market. All right, let's get out of here with some Hey Joe. We'll go to the OG Sports Phone.
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports Phone and curse or don't.
Of course, the OG Sports Phone is brought to you by our friends at Nature's Relief. Check them out online at naturesreliefhempstore.com. I found a new favorite gummy. It's by Duderman Farms. It's a single strain.
Okay.
Indica. It's one of those ones that's like a couch melter. Yeah.
See, now those are under direct supervision. We need those. Those are a chiller.
What supervision do you need? You're just going to melt on the couch. You're good. Just be at home. Got nothing going on that night. Hey, man, I'm all about it. So I'm a big fan of that Duderman Farm. But if you don't want to melt on the couch, but you still want to have a little bit of a buzz, they got options for that too. That's the beauty of Nature's Relief. Let's go to a 618. Oh, I believe it's our guy from Hawaii.
Hey, Joe and Joe, this is Josh in Hawaii. I can't believe I spent $12 to subscribe to ESPN Plus to watch this triangle bad team. This offense, the running backs don't break tackles. My flag football team this Friday broke more tackles than the Carolina running backs. Anyways, you guys have a good night. Bye.
We do have Josh's info, by the way. We got to mail him some stuff.
Yeah. I love that he actually brought this up. I forgot to bring it up yesterday. I always love to tell you about talking points from the TV.
Yeah.
One of the talking points from the Charlotte broadcast was the running back room is the deepest on the team. And I'm sitting here going, they got a bunch of fucking jabronis. Yeah, but if that's your deepest position, you're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble.
That wasn't Maryland saying it, was it? Because Maryland
no.
It was broadcast.
It was like a lot of it was more than once, dude. Like it was like over and over and over again. Like, oh, there's so and so blue. He's one of it's a stable, and I'm like, oh, okay. You guys are really reaching. I know you have nothing to talk about.
I got nothing to talk about.
I get that, but
also, what does it say that game was on ESPN Plus?
Everything you need to know.
Okay,
that's what it says.
All right, to a 919.
Everything you need to
know. To a 919.
Hey, OG, Bluegrass Matt. Hey, it's pretty cool hearing all the people from like different states. I mean, I already know you're international, but Honolulu or Hawaii, Alaska. Do you think you have listeners from all 50 states? I mean, you guys are pretty big now, but I haven't heard Idaho or Wyoming. I don't know. See ya.
My brother.
We have a Google map, don't we?
Yeah, my brother.
These things.
My brother texted me. He's like, "Well, you got like 6 or 7 here in Orlando." I said, 6 or 7? 6 or 7? Some of you with certain age kids will find that cringy. Regardless. Yeah, it's funny.
Somebody made a 6-7 joke on a broadcast. Jim Nance.
Did Jim Nance make a 6-7 joke? Oh, man, I missed that. I'm mad.
Yeah.
So, yes, I can look at a heat map of where people are listening. Have we been heard in all 50 states in the last 2.5 years? I would hazard a guess that yes, we have been heard in all 50 states at some point in the last 2.5 years. I was looking, this was funny to me. I texted you this, but I thought this was funny. I was looking at the heat map and I was like, Montana? Like, I didn't listen to the podcast when I was in Kalispell because I had to fly in order to go to Glacier.
Yeah.
The Glacier International Airport is in Kalispell, Montana. I was like, I believe I'm pronouncing that town's right. Regardless, I was like, in the last 7 days? But I wasn't even there the last 7 days. And I wasn't even listening to the podcast when I was there.
You.
So I looked and I went, wait a minute.
Hold up.
You know who was listening to us? I'm pretty sure who was listening to us in Kalispell? Scotty McCreary. Because Scotty had a tour date in Kalispell.
This is a thing he does. Yes.
So either it was Scotty that was listening to the podcast, which shout out to Scotty McCreary, or somebody within his crew was listening to the podcast, which I think is kind of funny. All right. Let's go at 336.
Joe's, what's going on? It's Jack from Wilmington. Listen to Monday's pod. Apparently you guys talked to Jake from Wilmington at the game and also referred to a Jake from Wilmington that left a 3-minute phone call. The 3-minute phone call might have been me, but it also would be crazy if there is a Jake from Wilmington and a Jack from Wilmington and we're both filling up the sports phone being upset Duke football fans. I think that would be hilarious. But anyways, the point of my call is in reference to the NC State and Duke game on not this coming up Saturday, but the next one, the 20th. Maybe we should get a little OG tailgate situation going on out there. I know Lot B3 out there at Wallace Wade gets popping for tailgates. So Con Knipple was randomly there this past week. Could be a good time. I think State is looking better than I expected them to, and I think Duke is good. I think it should be a good game. So yeah, OG tailgate at Wallace Wade could be a good time. Anyways, this is Jack from Wilmington. Shout out to Jake from Wilmington if you also exist. Go Blue Devils.
No, I think I'm getting my guys confused. If we've learned anything today, I can't get names right. I can't even spell things right.
But I wrote down the Wilmington guy. It's Jack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I run into listeners and I apologize. Sometimes I can't keep them straight. I apologize.
I kind of like that. Maybe we had a Jack and a Jake. I mean, it's radio. You got to keep it up. Keep up the bit.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right. 919.
Morning, OG. It's NC State moderator. Thinking about the Panthers game yesterday, I think I have a temporary solution because I'm really tired of watching this team be bad. And I'm not giving up on them. But I think if we just tank the ratings in this area as a group, if we vow to not watch the Panthers on Sundays, maybe they'll start putting the Commanders on instead like they did last year. So maybe that's what we do until we see signs of life from the team, is just don't watch. They put different football on, and then if they become a playoff team, then we can start watching again. So maybe we all vow not to watch anymore. Just a suggestion. Thanks, y'all.
No, I think the only way you can get off is if the tickets aren't sold, right? That's how you get
remember Fox 50 opted to air another game instead of the Panthers.
Right.
Because they don't have to air the Panthers.
Technically not the home market.
Technically not the home market.
Yeah.
And that's what obviously it pissed off the Panthers, but I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
You know, this is actually something that Dimitri and I are going to talk about OG business, at least on the free portion of things. And that I do wonder at what point, I mean, let me put it this way. The only reason why the Panthers are a topic of conversation right now is because they're an NFL team.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
You are hardwired to talk about the NFL. Therefore, the NFL team in this state gets to be discussed. If they were not an NFL team with the kind of production they've been putting out, you wouldn't discuss them. You know what they end up becoming? The Carolina Hurricanes, which we've seen before.
They're the Charlotte Hornets.
They're currently the Hornets. So you're lucky. You're lucky that you're an NFL team. It's that simple. But we'll talk about it a little bit more. OG business. All right, last one.
Hey, y'all, it's Alex. After listening to yesterday's show, I just feel compelled to call in and give the Charlotte perspective a little bit. So, first of all, UNC Concord is some unoriginal, unimaginative bullshit. Everyone's been saying that forever, and it's just not even clever. You could say UNC Harrisburg, UNC Newell, UNC Concrete, probably my favorite one, but whatever. I can get over that one.
Clearly you can't.
No.
Clearly you can't.
It tickled us in a certain way.
That was funny.
If I was a Charlotte fan, I would get that. Yeah, that would be annoying.
Right. It's the same thing. Giggles. Hey, Giggles. Yeah. Or ovaries. Hey, ovaries.
The first time you heard it, you're like, ah.
Yeah, first time I heard it when we took sex ed class. People were like, oh, ovies, ovary. Ah.
I am sorry to Shelby that she got drenched. she had more cover than most of us in the stadium since there is no relief from the weather there. I don't think, in Charlotte's defense, anyone expected that kind of rain. But the biggest takeaway I took from the game, it was a fairly dull affair, but the Carolina fans were not into it. A lot of them did not seem super happy to be there. Vibes not great. And there weren't nearly as many Carolina fans as I thought there would be at the game. I mean, it's a small stadium, so there probably weren't a ton of seats available to the visitors, but it was far from a takeover that I thought it might end up being. But anyway, Charlotte played okay. It was way better than that game. To paraphrase Belichick, we're on to Monmouth. Y'all have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.
Monmouth. No,
I thought Charlotte played a world better than they did against App State. That's all. I just, as someone who watched both of those games,
I think that says more about.
Sure. But you got to factor in there that, like I said, Charlotte understood the assignment. When you're ECU and App State and Charlotte, you better pour it out when you see the light blue or the red.
Well, I guess
that's your job.
I guess App State poured it out against Charlotte because they struggled against Lindenwood.
Now, don't get me started. That was supposed to be an NC State game at the Rock.
I know.
So let's not.
I know.
Let's not.
They struggled in that one. But to Alex's point about UNC fans not really looking like they wanted to be there, it's because their coach doesn't look like he wants to be there. That's the thing going forward, and we'll see it against Richmond. He just doesn't. He already looks over it. And we're 2 weeks into the season. We're not over it, though. We'll be back tomorrow. Spencer Hall, Shutdown Fullcast. He's going to drop on by. We're going to get to the heart of why Dave Dorn keeps catching strays, even on his podcast.